Welcome to yet another episode of the program Service to Humanity, a program designed to update you on the activities of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. I am your anchor, Habiba Zakzak. The plan of the federal government to financially empower exited beneficiaries of N-Power batches A and B has finally come to fruition. Last week, trainings to equip them with skills and business know-how to make them successful entrepreneurs were organized. How did the trainings go? What are the highlights and how did the beneficiaries receive the initiative? That is the subject of this episode of our program. Join me after the break for details.
The program is key to helping young Nigerians acquire and develop.
The federal government of Nigeria remains committed to including and protecting persons with disabilities to guarantee that no one is left behind.
I see that we are going through challenging times, and I see this woman running all about the country trying to help our people, because this lady is doing a very good job for our country.
Thank you.
Thank you for all what you have been doing for us.
The program starts with the Management Diary, where we bring you news and current happenings in the ministry and her agencies. In our lineup, federal government plans financial empowerment for batches A and B N-Power beneficiaries. And federal governments restate commitment to ensure the provision of humanitarian assistance to the vulnerable populace. Please stay tuned.
The federal government, in collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has concluded plans to give financial empowerment to 75,600 batches A and B beneficiaries of the N-Power program. These 75,600 beneficiaries are the first batch of the N-Power out of 467,183 who applied for the training. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk, said this at the inauguration of the NEXIT CBN Agribusiness Small and Medium Enterprises Scheme in Abuja. Farouk was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Bashir Nura Al-Kali, said N-Power program is a critical part of the National Social Investment Programs domiciled in the Ministry, designed to help young Nigerians acquire and develop lifelong skills to ensure they become solution providers and entrepreneurs in their communities.
Today marks the beginning of the fulfillment of this long-awaited training that will enable these beneficiaries that indicated interest to participate into the CBN Empowerment Program. And I congratulate you for being the first batch of beneficiaries. I wish to express my profound gratitude for the support received from the Central Bank towards the development of the NEXIT portal, which was used by the Ministry to collect the data of the exited N-Power batches A and B beneficiaries. This has been a painstaking exercise to ensure that eligible and interested beneficiaries are not left out of this laudable program. This is quite commendable, as the exercise was totally free of any external interferences. At the end of it all, shortlisted beneficiaries will have a sense of fulfillment and will be satisfied with this support.
According to her, other batches will have their turn of the training.
We will continue to train the remaining batches in no distant time. And I do believe the experience gathered from this session will help us in fine-tuning subsequent sessions. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is committed to ensuring that the strategic objectives of all the social intervention programs are harnessed to achieve the desired goals and objectives.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, who was represented by Raphael Obi, a director in the ministry, said the training was carried out across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). He advised the participants to maintain the highest level of seriousness in all that they were taught throughout the training program and thereafter.
I must state here that this journey witnessed an intensive and careful process to ensure that the state beneficiaries move on better than they were. As beneficiaries, you will be equipped with the necessary trainings that will guarantee your participation in the CDN package meant for this purpose. Our dear trainees, this 5-day training session is well designed to make you well informed. You should therefore make judicious use of this opportunity that you have been waiting for. I would want to emphasize again that every trainee must see this unique opportunity as a blessing that must not be wasted. Recall how we journeyed into this. You have finally gotten this opportunity. Maintain the highest level of seriousness in all that you will be taught throughout the training program and thereafter. It is on this note that I wish you a very successful training session and God's blessings in your future endeavors.
The Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has assured the vulnerable population of the country of the ministry's commitment to the provision of humanitarian assistance. Speaking at the launch of the ECOWAS FMHADMSD WFP Stabilization Fund for the Northeast and Northwestern states in Jibia and Paskari local government area of Katsina State, the minister said ECOWAS came up with interventions to assist member states in these catastrophic situations, including Nigeria. Represented by the Director of Humanitarian Affairs, Alhaji Ali Grema, he said the Stabilization Fund, which was being launched, provides targeted interventions to beneficiaries as follows. For resilience building, a total of 603 grinding machines were distributed in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and Katsina states. 9,380 children and 1,200 persons living with disability were targeted under the nutrition component. According to the minister, the procedures of selecting the beneficiaries were drawn from the National Social Register and is in line with the federal government's desire of catering for the vulnerable persons in the society. In her address, the program officer, World Food Program, Agnes Mungacia, said WFP is in collaboration with the federal government and ECOWAS in its program of alleviating food and nutrition insecurity in Katsina, Borno, Adamawa, and Zamfara states, adding that the program is also building sustainable livelihood for vulnerable families. In his remarks, the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari, represented by his Special Advisor, Department of Empowerment and Social Intervention, Alhaji Abdulkadir Mamman Nasser, thanked ECOWAS, the federal government, and all the partners for the gesture, promising to devise a mechanism to sustain the program beyond its time frame in the state, with a view to benefiting more communities.
You are still watching Service to Humanity, a program which brings you activities of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and its agencies. In our new segment, we saw that the federal government plans financial empowerment for batches A and B NPower beneficiaries, where a training has been designed for beneficiaries as part of strategy by the federal government to ensure that the objectives of the NPower initiative are actualized. And that is where we shall be taking our next story from, to look closely at the training and how it went in Abuja and Kaduna states, where our crew visited. Keep watching.
The federal government has conducted entrepreneurial training of 75,600 beneficiaries of the NPower scheme captured in exited batches A and B.
A business plan is a roadmap. It is a detailed document.
The batches were exited last year after over 2 years to pave way for another set of beneficiaries of the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, of the government. The trainees, who are from all states of the Federation, were trained on empowerment skills with a view to accessing loans from the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to establish businesses of their own. This development was in fulfillment of the promise made by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, to establish an exit program for the NPOWER beneficiaries. The first batch of the NEXIT trainees were trained on account and record keeping, marketing, creativity, mindset engineering, ICT in business, and financial planning. Bello Usman, the lead training consultant for Kaduna, speaks on the NEXIT training.
You may recall that the federal government introduced and launched the NPOWER program 4 years ago, and there are beneficiaries, like for Kaduna State, we have about 17,000 beneficiaries. Now it is time for them to exit from the program, and the federal government is building their capacity on entrepreneurial skills, and so that they will be able to go and be on their own, have a successful entrepreneurship and a successful business.
Other facilitators speak on the NEXIT training and its importance to beneficiaries.
Important for this one is for these participants to get to understand the aspect of entrepreneurship, its importance, especially when you saw the aspect of the record keeping now. This will help them to understand the need to keep records in their areas of business. So this will actually help them to understand on talking of financial management. So not just having money in your hands, but a situation whereby even when that money is in you, you know how it comes to you, rather you know how to be able to manage it and undertake your own business.
They have learned to build on their entrepreneurial skill. It is now time for them to implement it, to put it into action, for them to start their own businesses. So from this class, I wish them well. I wish them the very best, that all that they have learned, they will be able to put it into action, and hope to see them at the top.
Structure your business well.
During the trainings, beneficiaries showed keen interest in the various training models. But what is the assessment of their level of interest?
They are very keen, they are anxious, and they are finding this training rewarding. Things that they don't know before or think they have issues with in terms of managing their business is hereby explained, and the skills is being acquired at this point.
Most people were already saying that even there are certain aspects that they don't really have concerning this marketing. Some were like, this is the first time I'm hearing this. There are some mistakes that I'm making, but right now I am beginning to correct them. That's why I told you some people are already like writing it down and even requesting for the materials, which we are making it available for them.
These participants, they have shown keen interest in entrepreneurship. In fact, this has gone beyond my expectation, ranging from the courses they've taken so far, especially their mindset reorientation. This has actually made them to have a change of mindset about who they are, about the perspective about business, and also seeing how they can actually further or improve their marketing skills when they start out their businesses. Of course, I would say yes, they have shown keen interest in this training so far.
As budding entrepreneurs, the NEXIT trainings hold a lot of advantages for the beneficiaries.
It will be hugely impactful in this way. I'm just telling you, we are going to train 2,750 beneficiaries. If all this will be successful entrepreneurs, it means 2,750 businesses will flourish. And this business, you'll get at least 2 or 3 people again benefiting. Like even suppose somebody producing pure water, other people will be selling it. So it's producing employment and a ripple effect down from them, down and through the chain.
Definitely with this aspect of training, businesses will be improved because there are some who are already into businesses. So it will actually help them to improve unemployment with the way they will manage their businesses, and the finance will be there to stay because some people are managing businesses and that finance is going down instead because some are already like confessing it here. My business has been going down, but I've gotten certain informations that will help me for my business to grow, and that will really know how to put up my business together and expect it to grow further.
At the end of the 5-day training, beneficiaries were issued with certificates. Some of the beneficiaries speak on their experiences at the NEXIT training.
I've really learned a lot of things, which is talking about how to keep your business going, how to plan for your business. Before you start a business, you must have a plan, and how to maintain the business to keep going so that you will not have a loss at the end of the business. So you can have a ways of keeping your records, how to make sure that you know treat your customers right and have a good customer relationship to your customers. It's important also. So I really learned a lot of things here since the beginning of the program.
We actually learn how to add value to make more profit from what we are already having in ground. But the major thing that we are looking out here is at the end of this training, they even promise to issue us with certificates of the training. We have learned the entrepreneurship training. We've learned how to also write a business plan, because we made to understand that having a business is not enough, but we should also be able to write a business plan. And most of us have now learned how to write a business plan, how to prepare a business plan. That through the business plans we can be able to access loan from even commercial bank.
The facilitators had some words of advice for the beneficiaries.
Getting loans from government, using your own capital, using capital from family, getting other sources of financing, whatever it is, just manage it and try to see how you'll be successful in entrepreneurship.
My advice to every one of them is I wish them the very best. Business is not easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy. It's not for the lily-hearted, it's not for the lily-hearted ones. So what I'm trying to say is they should put on their very best, be ready to undertake every risk that comes, and see them at the top.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones.
They should use this money for what it is meant for, graciously to take care of their family.
In 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bound.
And the government is very well because they did well for us.
It's helped me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
That was a glimpse into how the first NEXIT training program for the batches A and B beneficiaries went in Abuja and Kaduna. I can assure you that the content of the trainings was quite exhaustive. One thing we did also was to further interact with the trainees on their gains from NPower and their plans for the NEXIT package. We shall bring you their testimonies in our next segment. Do stay tuned.
Beneficiaries of the NEXIT program were full of appreciation to the government for the opportunity to have benefited from the NPower scheme, and now the NEXIT program training with a loan opportunity to prepare them for life as independent entrepreneurs.
I intend to expand.
Elizabeth Madu shares with us life after the NPower program and what she intends to do after she has accessed the loan.
It's been awesome, and it has also not been easy coping without, the regular stipend that we were entitled to. But after Empower, I had to start managing my own small business. I intend to expand my small business and probably package and reach out to more customers, then employ one or two additional staff.
Lukman Ahmed, a photographer under the Empower Batch B, shares with us his future plans.
If I am able to acquire this loan successfully, I'd like to expand my business, the photographing and video coverage things. I would like to empower some other youths like me that wants to be a good cameraman or photographer in future. I'd like to empower them by training them as apprentices.
Vincent Ogbobu, a beneficiary under the Empower Batch A, also lauds the program and tells us his future plans.
It has been good. Honestly, I must appreciate the federal government because the program was a success for me. I am Badge A Empower, and since then there have never been any month I didn't get my salary, and the program is nice. As we can see, Empower has really, on the aspect of this program, I should say that this is one of the programs that this government really have, and they can talk about it. It has really touched life. Many Nigerians have benefited from it, including even my wife. Now we have Empower Batch C Stream 1, and a lot of people are also partakers of this. And 30,000 naira per month, it may be small, but it goes a long way. So honestly, I will encourage Nigerian youths that they shouldn't shy away from program like this. It's not every program that they think you must know someone before you get it. Actually, this one, I think you don't need to know anybody, because I didn't know anybody before I get Empower. And I really appreciate the federal government for all the effort they made to also get us through this very phase. And I want to appreciate them that they should try in their capacity to make sure that we get this loan, because it will further promote the government and what they do for the Nigerian youth.
Oh, Umodagu, another beneficiary, started a hairdressing and catering business from her Empower stipends. She had this to say.
I thank God for the Empower. By the time the Empower ended, I fixed my first self for doing hairdresser. I doing hairdresser and I running restaurants. I believe the money that I have from the Empower, I use it to open the restaurants and the open salon. When I get this loan, I will make my salon to big, large salon and establish it and register the name to be the qualified salon.
Christabel Fayoshi also tells us how she has benefited from Empower.
When I graduated from school, when I finished my school, there was no job. So when they brought this Empower on board and applied, and I was opportune to get it. So after that, and they were paying us. From the payment, I was able to save a little of money to start off my business. So it's really helped. It has really helped me a lot.
Ummi Ibrahim Wada, another Empower beneficiary from Batch B, also speaks on the program and what she intends to do when she gets the loan.
Empower is a very good opportunity for us because we really benefited when we were beneficiaries, and now that we are not part of it, it is not the same as when we were in the program. So whenever there is opportunity given to people to apply, they shouldn't neglect that opportunity. They should apply, please, and they should serve Nigeria. Anywhere they are being posted to, they should do their best. Now I do small snack business, so I intend to expand the business because lack of funds make it to be so small now. So I just intend to expand the business with the loan if I'm able to get it.
I've benefited a lot, and I intend to improve and expand my business after this training. With this training with this knowledge, skill I've acquired through these few days of the training. So I really appreciate the government and God for this privilege which the government have given us.
This is where we end this episode of Service to Humanity. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe. Don't forget to send in questions and suggestions to any of our social media platforms or drop a message on the ministry's page on Facebook or Twitter. See you next week.